Hey guys, so real quick I wanted to show you a couple of my favorite books out of my own personal library. These are all a collection of used books that I've gotten from lots of places like McKay's or thriftbooks.com or Amazon. So I wanted to show you some of my favorite ones. First, my top shelf is all colonial and pre-colonial books. Yes, I have them organized by type of books. So you'll find all of my George Washington books up here. A couple of my favorites. Washington Spies. And there's actually a TV show based on this book. We have our book 1776 by David McCullough. This is what Mr. Mike, who came to visit us, that's the book that he read where he got that story of the guy with the bed bugs down his throat. Down here, this book is my Civil War, or this chapter is my Civil War book. This chapter, what am I talking about? Okay, this shelf is my Civil War bookshelf. So I've got tons of books on here. One of my favorite, well actually this book should be down there. Careful. This book is called America's First Daughter. This is that book that Miss Grumbacher and I were reading. It's a thick one. I kind of picked it up, put it down a couple different times, but finally finished it. Cried a lot at the end. It kind of shows how Thomas Jefferson, we seem to put him on this founding father pedestal, but really he had a difficult life. So this one I recommend for parents. This book's one of my favorites, and the front cover was chewed up by Jaeger right there. He likes to chew stuff. So yeah, he likes to play fetch, but he also likes to destroy stuff. This book's called Song Yet Sung, and honestly, when I was reading it, it really reminds me of the Harriet Tubman story. So if you haven't seen the movie Harriet, I recommend the movie Harriet. There's a lot of strong language in it, but it's a great movie. This book reminded me a lot of her story, and it actually takes place in Maryland just like her story does. Let's see. Manhunt. This is Capturing Lincoln's Assassin. This is the book that Mr. Betts recommended at the end of the Lincoln assassination video. Strongly recommend it. Hidden in Plain View. This is also another Civil War book. It's talking all about the quilts and the quilt patterns that the Underground Railroad used to help get people to freedom. So it's pretty cool. So they would quilt different designs into the quilts, and different designs meant different things. So this one is like a shoe fly, meaning don't come to this house. So pretty cool, and they're all based on like African patterns too. So our classic quilts that we know today, they're brought over from Africa. So it's really, really cool. So there's some other ones. I like that one. So yeah, I also have some Virginia books on here. This little one, Skinny as It is a neat little book. I've seen lots of copies of this at McKay's if you want to get it. It's called Hidden History in Northern Virginia. And in it, I think I marked the page. No, I didn't. That's where I left off. So, in another video, I'll read you the story of our friend John Mosby, and it's a really funny story. So it didn't actually happen. So I'll read you that in another video about Mr. Mosby, Hidden History of Northern Virginia. So if you have any questions about any of the books in my library, or if you see one that pops off the shelf and you're like, I just have to know what book that is, let me know. And I will talk about it in another video. So make sure you're reading. We're still doing our book challenge, so you have to read. You're supposed to keep track of how many pages you're reading. So I am way behind. I thought I'd be a lot further than I am. Dean, I'm pretty sure you're winning, but we'll see. So let me know in an email how you're doing with the book challenge. Talk to you guys soon.